lot about opportunities for UK and European countries and India, but if for India to be a power, we need to talk about opportunities for Indian companies in UK and European countries. And, you know, what is the Indian government doing to, you know, at the local level to promote, you know, innovators, entrepreneurs in India to expand into Europe? And there's a big market in Europe and UK. And, you know, and removing, like, what are the UK government doing to removing red tape for allowing Indian companies to expand into UK, European countries? Because one classic example is Tata. They're doing quite well and they expanded into UK and they're constructing elsewhere. What's happening?
I think quite a lot is happening. As you indicated, there's some very good examples already where Indian capital and talent has come into the British motor industry and the British steel industry and has made a difference. I mean, just look at the success of Land Rover, which has been phenomenal. And we welcome that. That is the advantage of having an open society. Our government isn't going to stop Indians investing in a sector that they wish to invest in, not going to stop Indians buying companies if people want to sell them. We have a relatively free system, and there will be many more opportunities as India takes a more global role. And on the infrastructure in India, it is an Indian problem which Indian politics and Indian government has to sort out. We in Britain have a wide range of advisory and construction and engineering companies that could make a huge contribution once we know what you want. But that has to be something that India sorts out for itself. I mean, broadly, there are just two ways of paying for infrastructure. You can either have a claim on the tax revenue of the country, and it's provided as a free or a heavily subsidized good, or you can have a claim on the users who've got to pay a toll or a charge for using the infrastructure. And traditionally, you make users pay for broadband and telecommunications, and you make taxpayers pay for roads, and railways are sort of halfway between the two, that you have a claim on both, but quite often the taxpayer element is rather bigger and more important. That is a matter for political choice and taste. It's what people fight elections over, but it's not a terribly crucial point, because with infrastructure it's largely the same people paying. It's just whether you make them pay through a tax under threat of imprisonment if they don't, or whether you let them have to pay because they want to use a phone.
Thank you. I know we have many more questions. We're running short of time. If it's very, very short, I know you... Okay, that's the very last question, I'm afraid. Would you like to use the mic, please?
You've been a great champion of entrepreneurship and deregulation and in the UK. Don't you think India's got a lot to learn from the UK in terms of creating an entrepreneurial culture in terms of the government policies?
Well, all I can say as someone who studied and observed and visited around the world, that the countries that are bravest in setting lower tax rates and having fewer intrusive regulations usually have the highest living standards and grow the fastest. That is an observation. Any individual country, democratic country, has to settle these things for itself by local democratic debate, and I don't presume to tell India what their policies should be any more than I wouldn't really want the Indian government telling me what we should be doing here. That is a matter for our local determination. But if you really want to be rich, you've got to want to be free.
Thank you. We must really bring this session to a close. Please join me in thanking our panelists, and then please join us for coffee outside.